those two cars.
That'll be interesting to see after they have run a while and get those tires heated up. Then you'll know who has the best chassis. And Benny Sterling Marlin still using that low groove as we saw earlier, but it's working for him because he's able to stay right with them.
You know, Ned, as the day wears on, that might be to his advantage because all these fellas will run up high on the racetrack, and that groove is going to get to be very, very slow up there. If Sterling can stay on the bottom of the racetrack, he's going to have some green racetrack to get a hold of later on in the race.
Good work to his advantage.
Sterling's best finish in a Trans-South 500 was 4th in 1987. And in the past 3 Trans-South 500s, his finishes have been 5th, 5th, and 4th. So indeed, he knows how to run this racetrack. Currently, Sterling Marlin 3rd behind Geoff Bodine and Dale Earnhardt. We'll be right back. 5 out of 367 laps completed in this Trans-South 500. We haven't mentioned it yet, but indeed there is Unocal money available today, $15,200 if Geoff Bodine, who is second, can win this race. Let's go to Nick Berggren on pit road.
Well, Bob, a really interesting approach to emerging technology here as we watch the top 3 cars. Geoff Bodine in the middle of the top 3 was one of the first to embrace the emerging technology of front steer race cars. Dale Earnhardt, who is right now running just in front of him, he's just grabbing hold of it. In fact, this is his very first race at Darlington with a front steer car. The guy running in 3rd spot, Sterling Marlin, he hasn't grabbed it yet. He's one of 2 top cars. Harry Gant is the other, still running on rear steer cars. Now, Sterling Marlin says the rear steer car cuts better, and that's what he'd really rather run here. Earnhardt, meanwhile, has just radioed his crew and said he's got a vibration in the front end. Jerry punches down pit road with the 94. Jerry?
Well, we're standing in the Sterling Marlin pit along with crew chief Steve Lloyd. And Steve, Sterling is running a little bit closer to the bottom of the racetrack than are the front 2 cars. Why?
Well, he said the car seems to be working better in the middle of the racetrack. I wanted him to move up high a little bit, Jerry, but we didn't pull as much gear as those guys are. We chose a little less gear for this long race, but he says it feels good where it's at. So if we stay there at the end of the race, we should be all right.
Now, guys in the booth, let me ask you, if you don't have as much gear in the car, what will happen later in the race when the track gets a little bit slicker?
Caution down in turn 2.
Car crashing in turn 2 is Dick Johnson up against the wall. Number 38 car slides to a stop at the top of the racetrack against the outer wall. We'll answer that question for you, Jerry, in a little bit. Meanwhile, we will watch the situation regarding Dick Johnson. The yellow flag comes out for the 4th time this afternoon. Johnson's car still stalled at the top of the racetrack, and the pits are closed. We'll take another break and be right back to Darlington, South Carolina. Darlington, South Carolina on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. Geoff Bodine leads at the moment over Sterling Marlin. Welcome back to Darlington International Raceway, NASCAR's oldest super speedway dating back to 1950. Today, live coverage of the Trans-South 500, stop number 5 on the Winston Cup Tour for 1990. Our Speed World coverage is a 113 laps old, and Geoff Bodine has checked out. He has really opened the gap between himself and second place Sterling Marlin, third place Mark Martin, and the 3-car of Dale Earnhardt. Now, this battle involves the 75 car of Rick Wilson, Bill Elliott, and Morgan Shepherd as we take a look at those who have dropped out of competition.
Rick Wilson must be feeling awful good in that yellow number 75, the Dinner Bell Oldsmobile. I was talking to Rick yesterday about his season, and so far it has been miserable, but today he's got a great run here.
This is for 5th, 6th, and 7th position.
Morgan Shepherd was the loser really on that last round of pit stops. He came in 4th, came out about 8th or 9th, but he has worked his way back up now to the 7th position.
Well, there are a lot of top contenders who are not in contention at this point in the race, and the reason is because of an accident that occurred very early on involving several, Dale Earnhardt and Kyle Petty among them. This is what happened as the cars went into turn number 1.
Earnhardt and Kyle Petty try to go in turn 1. Kyle tries to get on the bottom of the racetrack between Ricky Rudd and Earnhardt, and Kyle Petty spins. Rudd does a fabulous job of missing him, but along comes Rusty Wallace, hits the Ricky Rudd automobile. We see the 28 car spinning, Alan Kowicki spinning. Rusty Wallace had severe damage to his car. He's not been competitive since then. Neither has the Ricky Rudd automobile.
And that's the reason why all of those guys are not in contention. Rudd and Kyle Petty and Rusty Wallace, they are all more than one lap down to the field.
Excepting the car number 5 of Ricky Rudd, he still is in the lead lap, but Rusty Wallace and Kyle Petty are at least a lap down.
Rick Wilson in 5th position, Bill Elliott in 6th, and in 7th position is Morgan Shepherd in the number 15 car. Dick Trickles, Phillips 66 in-car camera. That's Ken Schrader just ahead of him. Good battle for position going on here. The number 17 car is just ahead of Ken Schrader. That, of course, is Darrell Waltrip. And the 21 car of Neil Bonnet.
He's going right up against that wall. One reason is because Bobby Hillen is trying to get by him just to the left of the car. I know Hillen has to drop back, but 25 goes by Darrell Waltrip. Waltrip tries to go back on the inside. He's not able to do that.
Now, Ken Schrader made a late pit stop during that caution, so he has come from the rear of the field back to there. He was running 6th before the caution came out. In fact, he had been running 5th, but he was starting to drop back. That last caution was a real blessing for him because the handle had gone away on his Chevrolet.
Here's Dick Trickle trying to look on the inside of Darrell Waltrip up in 3 and 4. And that was 1 and 2, wasn't it?
Glare is beginning to become a problem, too, in some portions of the racetrack.
Now they're going in turn 3. Trickle looking for a place to go, isn't he?
He has to get off the gasoline there because the car up in front's got him slowed down. That's the 21 car of Neil Bonnet,
who is a lap down, running in 22nd place, showing 20 cars in the lead lap.
Well, that glare is bad going in turn 1 this early in the race.
Sure is. Now Schrader goes inside Neil Bonnet down the backstretch. He'll successfully pass Bonnet. And Darrell Waltrip will fall in behind Neil.
He'll try to get alongside Neil to get position coming off turn 4. He makes the pass.
Dick Trickle now is behind Neil Bonnet, and so is Bobby Hillen.
Of course, Trickle and Hillen are in the lead lap. Right now, the Trickle car being shown 14th position, and Bobby Hillen shown 15th.
I couldn't see anything when that car went turn 1. Could you, Bob?
I know, the glare is just really bad down there going into 1. You lose sight of everything for a moment.
Glad I ain't that thing.
Now, one thing, fellas, that how long ago was it that the daylight saving time was changed? We're an hour
last night.
Yeah,
last night.
Well, I know, but when did they start doing it this early in the year? And, you know, normally at the Transouth, you wouldn't have this until late in the race, but it's an hour coming an hour earlier today.
That's very, very possible. Trickle now once again looks inside of Neil Bonnet. Yeah, for some of us, we changed our clocks at 2 o'clock this morning, and others were a little late to the crew call today because of that.
Yeah, I got up at 2 this morning to change mine.
Did you? I'm sure.
Isn't that what they said to do?
Yeah, that's right.
That's what they tell you to do. That's right. Set the alarm for 2 o'clock. The lead, meanwhile, continues to be held by Geoff Bodine, and there are 20 cars on the lead lap. Here's a comment on Jeff's run by Jerry Punch.
Well, the book on the radials continues to grow a little bit, and I think the Budweiser team has learned a valuable lesson. Early in the race here, about 70 laps ago, they made a pit stop and they put what they consider to be scuffed tires that actually had run about 15 laps here on the Bodine car. What happened? Well, Sterling Marlin and Dale Earnhardt probably ran Bodine down and passed people. Well, on this last pit stop that came in, they put sticker tires, brand new radials back on the car. They made no chassis adjustment whatsoever on the car, just sticker tires, and what a difference Bodine has checked out. Let's see what's going on in the Earnhardt pit. Kirk Shelman standing by with Dick Berger.
Well, Kirk, I had a problem with the vibration. You took on new tires. Is the vibration gone or is it still there?
It's gone. We had a equalized tire.
Well, Bodine is checking out, though. You guys seem to be drifting back. What's going on?
The 11's probably the fastest car here. We got a couple cars between us